Welcome back to the channel. If you're new, welcome. Today I'm going to be working with sewing. I'm going to be working on a mini quilt, and this is straight quilting. This is not a in the hoop project. We're going to be using a sewing machine, an embroidery machine, which is optional. You don't need to have an embroidery machine. You can do it without it. We're going to be needing fabric for this project and all the things that people use on sewing: scissors, rulers, rotary cutter, cutting mat, etc., etc. So yeah, this is gonna be a project that I got from Moda Fabrics. They sent a challenge. It was called a Charm Challenge for a mini quilt. The size came out to be 32 inches by 32 inches. And you know that I am on my quilt journey, and this one is the first one that I've done that is that size, and it's a little bit more complicated than the what I've done before. I think that I've done, this is my second one actually quilting, not in the hoop, quilting. Yeah, so I wanted to share with you. I got this PDF from Moda Fabric, and it was in the beginning of this year. And I've been wanting to do it for such a long time. It was around January, and I was scared to do it, but I decided, you know what? I want to learn how to do quilting, just at least to get that area of my crafting checked. So I'm gonna go ahead and do it, and I think I'm gonna have a lot of fun. So yeah, I wanted to share this project with you. So guys, let's get started. Actually, before we get started, I wanted to show you something that I got. It's not really an unboxing, but you know that Design by Juju came out with all these designs, beautiful designs of mini sample quilts. Yeah. And I decided to start doing them. I am very behind. She started in January. I cut it April, and I haven't even started yet, but that is okay. I've been very busy trying to create other content. So this is a project that I do it behind camera. It's just for me. But yeah, I'm going to be working on April. Then I'm going to follow with May and June. And I just wanted to share that, you know, how difficult it is to get fabric sometimes for these projects. And, you know, a lot of fabric stores have closed. So I learned that this company sells you the cut fabric for this project already done. And the name of the company is Two Chicks Quilts or Quiltings. And they just came out with this. And this, for now, only applies to this kind of project from Design by Juju. So I decided to buy the fabric pre-cut so that I have no excuse not to complete this project, okay? And hopefully they'll bring the cuts for the future mini quilts that Design by Juju puts out. Yeah, so I wanted to show you this in case you do quilting or you like to do in the hoop projects, that to check them out. They are working now together on this project. Two Chicks Quilting and Design by Juju. I'm gonna open it. I have not opened them yet, but I've been having a lot of trouble getting quality fabric in my area. I live on a fabric desert. In my area, I have no. Michael's started bringing some nice fabrics, and I've been going to Michael's, and that's what I got the fabric for my April in the hoop mini stamper quilt. But it was a lot of work having to cut the fabric and try to match it. These people put everything together. You don't have to figure it out. They even label the fabric, what it's gonna be used for. And look at how pretty fabric they bring. Everything is included, and they will tell you exactly what is what and for what. And I am so happy about that. I can't wait to use them. But before I start the May one and then do the June, I had to finish the April one, guys, because like I said, it's over there on that corner, all cut up and everything, but I need to get to it. Hopefully this weekend I will be able to start, hopefully. So this is the one for June, I think, no, May, and this is the one for June. They shipped it in a couple of days. I don't know what state of the nation they're from. I live in the state of Maryland. They shipped it so fast. Anyway, Like I said, no excuses not to do. You see how they tell you exactly on the order they send the fabric, what is it for, which kind of section of the quilt is for. And this is, oh, I didn't see. This is the June mini sampler. And this is the May mini sampler. Isn't that beautiful? I hope I'm in camera. Yeah. So, and this is the, and I'm not disrupting the order because they place it in order. Look at how pretty it is. And you can tell by the touch it's good quality fabric. Like I said, I hope they continue doing this, offering the cuts of fabric for their projects, because it's difficult, guys. If you sew and you do quilting, you know what I mean, okay? So enough of this. I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna get started with the project. So I will see you once I clear the table. I'm gonna have my table to cut up the fabric, which I'm gonna be already have it done before we start, so we don't have waste time on that, because it takes a lot of time to cut up each square of fabric, because this is just straight quilting. You have to do your own cutting of the fabric, okay? Yeah, so guys, I will see you in a little bit, okay? See you in a little bit. This is the PDF printout that has all the directions and everything you need to do to complete this project. I wanted to show you. This is from Moda Fabrics, and this is the Charm Quilt Challenge. So I decided to complete this challenge. I need all the practice that I can get. So this is the PDF. It gives me the shadow colors, and I know which one is the basic color and which one is the fabric that I'm gonna use. So yeah, it makes it much easier to follow. If you notice, I label all the way 1 through 8 and the rows that I need to work with once I decide to start sewing them together. So yeah, so that's the design that we're gonna be working with. I have already cut all the pieces that I need for this project, but I'm gonna show you how I cut my 4.5 by 4.5 inches pieces. I'm gonna be using a cutting board, which is a rotary cutting board, and then I'm gonna go ahead and place my ruler and measure 4.5 inches. And then after this, I'm gonna trim it, but first I'm gonna make sure that I cut my first 4.5 inches. By doing that, it's easier for me to trim it later and make sure that the cut is accurate. This rotary cutting board helps a lot and makes it a lot easier to cut your pieces. So guys, I just remembered that I have a smaller ruler that is exactly 4.5 by 4.5. So let's go and get it. So this is the 4.5 by 4.5 inches ruler. I'm gonna place it in the middle of the one that I already cut the fabric, and make sure that I had the correct dimensions. Let me show you what I have here when it comes to my rulers. I have a little stand right here with all my rulers in different sizes. And yeah, okay. You see all the different sizes of rulers. This little one was behind this. I didn't see it. So if you have a 4.5 by 4.5, just use it. It's gonna make it more easier for you guys, okay? So yeah. So now I'm gonna go ahead and I'm going to use this ruler to my advantage, okay? I'm gonna place it any corner because I'm going to later on square out, okay? To make sure that I'm okay. Ruler is moving and I hate when that happens. Even though I use these plastic things on the back to make it so it doesn't move, sometimes it moves. But it helps a lot to have those in. It helps a lot. If you have one of these rotary cutting boards, don't move anything. You just move the board. And try not to move what you just cut. And you should have a perfect 4.5 by 4.5. You see mine moved already, and it was the ruler, so move around. Try as much as you can to stay in the front of the measurements. This pattern is very forgiving for us beginners, but try to stay as close as you can of the measurement, because at the end it's going to make a difference. Okay. I just changed this blade yesterday. I don't know why this one is not working. Okay, so I have my 4.5 by 4.5 inches. And then the next thing I'm gonna do is do the mark, because pretend that I have 2 of this fabric. I'm supposed to, like I said before, have some of this fabric by measurements and amounts that it will tell you at the PDF printout that I show you. It tells you exactly how many of this to cut and how many of this to cut. All right, but I'm just gonna demonstrate this piece because this is the one that you're gonna mark to do the project, okay? So what I like doing, you don't have to, I make a mark in the middle, right here. You don't have to, you can use the tool that I'm gonna show you. But I like doing this because it tells me the middle of the square, because that's the mark that I'm gonna use to cut it at the end. You're gonna see what I mean by that. Okay, that's the middle in here. And then I'm going to go ahead, let me make it closer. I think it's gonna make it closer for you guys. That's a better view for you guys, yeah. If you don't have these tools that are exactly 1/4 and an inch apart from the middle, you can measure 1/4 with your ruler and make a mark. It's kind of difficult to do, but it's doable. You just measure 1/4 from your center, right here. I'm at 1/4. Make sure that you match the 1/4 from the center that I just marked and from the center that I just marked here, and measure 1/4, and then you make a line and you repeat the same thing on the other side. I'm gonna use this little tool that I have. I have 2 sizes, one for bigger pieces and one for smaller pieces. And I'm gonna use this to mark it because it's exactly the center right here. You place this on the center of the line that I just did, the mark. And then this is 1/4 this way and 1/4 this way measurements, okay? So I'm gonna use this to do that. Sometimes I have a hard time placing it the correct way. I think it doesn't really matter. I think it's this way. For the most part, I usually use this big one, but I ordered this smaller one recently. So I used it for this project, and I'm gonna make sure that it doesn't move. And then I use another color marker. You can use the same. I like to see, I'm very visual, so I want to see exactly where it goes. So you're gonna go ahead and you're gonna mark your side. And then I'm not moving this. Try not to move it. The fabric. And I'm gonna turn around. And I'm gonna mark the other side without moving the ruler, okay? This part is crucial because you wanna make sure that you have exactly 1/4 separation. You see, this is 1/4 this way and this is 1/4 this way. All right? You have a good view? Yeah, you have a good view. So once you do that, let's pretend that I went to the sewing machine, and you're gonna see me do this one in a little bit. You're gonna go ahead and you're gonna sew one straight line of stitching here, and you're gonna sew one straight line of stitching here with this piece of fabric together. Okay, you're gonna have 2 pieces. This piece on the back, facing pretty side to pretty side, okay? In other words, this is the back of the fabric. On the other one, the back of the fabric should be facing the machine or your cutting board. Okay, so it's pretty side to pretty side. And we're gonna use this marking to sew these two together. I place both fabric together, use clips. You can use straight pins as well. I use clips, okay? And then I'm gonna go ahead, and at the end, when I'm done sewing, you're gonna see me that I'm gonna trim this in the middle. I can do it now if you want me to, but you're gonna see me at the end doing it. I'm gonna use my ruler, and I'm gonna make it so that I can use my rotary cutter. If you don't have a rotary cutter, you're gonna use your scissors and you're gonna cut in the middle. And that will give you a 1/4 seam allowance. We're gonna need that seam allowance later on in the project to do our final sewing, to place all the pieces together using our sewing machine, okay? So let's pretend that both pieces of fabrics are together. When you open this part with this part, you're gonna see the nice dimension of one different color fabric on this side to the other fabric on the other side. You're gonna see what I mean, okay? Okay, so I'm gonna clear this mess up and we're gonna move to the sewing machine to sew all the pieces together. I'm gonna do a small explanation in the beginning and then I'm gonna do it on fast mode because there's a lot of pieces that I had to sew, okay? See you in a little bit, guys. I'm going to start sewing my pieces the way I show you on the demonstration. I'm doing one side first, and I am sewing in the way that I put all the pieces back to back. It makes it easier and faster process for me to sew all these pieces. And once I am done with this side, all I have to do is to rotate the fabric around and start sewing the other side. If you notice, I have the other piece of fabric that is also 4.5 by 4.5 inches on the back of the sewing project, all right? So yeah. So I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna finish this section right here, and I am going to come back when I'm ready to do the next step of this project. So I am done sewing all the pieces. I'm going to separate them, and then I'm gonna go ahead and take you to the craft table, and I'm going to proceed to cut all the pieces in the middle like I showed you in the demonstration, and I will see you at the end when I'm done cutting all the pieces. So now that I'm done with all the cutting, I'm gonna proceed to put all the pieces together. I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna follow the PDF instructions by starting with the first section on the top. And I'm gonna follow completing each row by row. I label it by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, and 8. There are 8 all together, and that's the order that I'm going to follow. I forgot to mention that I'm using a 1/4-inch seam allowance throughout the whole project as per PDF instructions. I'm going to finish all this section of this project, and I'll see you back when I'm done, all right? This is all completed, and my next step is to add the batting and start doing the quilting part and the binding. So I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna get the batting, get it ready for the quilt, and also the items that I need to make this happen. So see you in a little bit. If you notice, I trimmed the batting and I did it ahead of time. You're supposed to cut the batting larger than the quilt. The rationale behind that is because sometimes when you do quilting, the batting tends to shrink a bit. I don't think I'm gonna have a problem with that because I have the backing also in here. I don't think I have an issue. But if you want to know how to do this process, which I did not include in this video, I didn't want to make this video too long. I am going to show two of my thumbnails of previous videos that I've done this process of placing the batting and starting the quilting. I just want to let you know that it's very easy. You're going to place the batting behind the quilt. Okay, you're gonna spray the batting and then you little by little place the fabric and it gets stuck to it. Then I spray the backing on the other side and then I place my fabric and little by little, make sure that there's no wrinkle or anything. And then after that, a good press and it looks nice and stuck in it. If you don't have temporary basting adhesive spray, all you do is that you're going to use straight pins or safety pins, and you're going to attach the 3 parts together to make sure that these 3 parts don't move when you're going to do your quilting part. This is the pattern that I'm going to be using for my quilting. This is a design by Juju, end-to-end design. I decided to pick the steeple design because it's a faster way, and I didn't want to pick any more complicated design because this fabric already has all this color, beautiful design. I didn't want it to look like too heavy on the fabric. I think I'm going to be using this thread color, which is the same color as the fabric. So in this project, we're using the sewing machine and also we're using our embroidery machine. For this one, I'm going to be using my Stellar too because I'm going to be using a magnetic hoop, which is going to be a size of 8 by 12. The next thing for me is to hoop the first section on the quilt and take it to my embroidery machine, all right? I am going to get started hooping the quilt, but I wanted to show you what I use to do this process and make it easier for me. It's a print and stick Target paper. For those who follow me, you've seen me use it before. So I'm just want to remind you that this is a quick way of doing the whole end-to-end quilting, all right? If you don't have this, all you have to do is print your design on a regular paper, trim it, and then put some tape, place your hoop in, then you take this off. This has just a sticky paper. It makes it a little bit faster and easier. I don't have to tape it down or anything like that. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to stop here. I'm going to work with this, and I'll meet you back once I'm ready to take this back to the embroidery machine, all right? All right, so everything is ready to go. I already have it centered, and I'm going to remove the sticky template. People, it's very sticky, which is great. So make sure that when you do this in your hoop, you don't pull the fabric of the hoop. I'm holding the fabric in place because I don't want to lose the registration, right? If you notice, my spray didn't help this much, but it's okay. It's in place. Okay, so I'm gonna save this because this is what I'm gonna use when I'm ready to move this to the other side once I'm done with this. So I am going to go through this. I am going to run it on fast mode because it's gonna take a little while to embroider. Once I'm done with this, I'm going to remove the hoop and reposition the whole hoop to the right. I'm starting in the middle of the quilt because that way I make sure that everything is gonna square out, okay? Because like I said, this is a specific measurement for this quilt. Each quilt is different and requires different measurements to cover the whole project. So I'm gonna be moving this to the one side. I am not gonna show the whole process because like I said before, I had those videos that I showed you earlier, the reference videos that you can watch and see how is it that I go through the whole process of moving the hoop side by side. So I will bring you back once I am done with the whole quilt and I am already setting up the quilt for the binding, okay? So I'm gonna press start. You're starting on the left side. I chose the light green color because I wanted to match the color of the backing. I usually use white for my quilt, but it's looking real nice, people. It's a very light green. I thought it was gonna show too strong, but it's not. It's beautiful. Yeah. So what I'm gonna do, like I mentioned before, in the binding, let me put a bigger view so that you can see better. I chose to do the self binding, and this is a different way of doing it. I did this on my last video. No video, it was a short of a sunflower. It's a little bit easier for most mini quilts than doing the normal binding. And I'm gonna repeat that with this design. I'm gonna self-bind. And self-bind is that I'm gonna be using this leftover fabric here, and then I'm gonna use it as a binding. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, it's looking real nice. I am glad that I chose this steeple design because it embroiders faster than other designs that I had in mind that have a lot of intricate designs. And that way I assure that what I am showing off is this fabric right here. Okay? So it's looking real nice. Okay guys, so see you at the end when this is completed, all right? So guys, the quilting process is finished, and I'm gonna move next to do my binding, and I will meet you when I'm done with that as well. Okay, let me remove this tape. The reason why I'm placed this tape is because in the corner, when the machine was embroidering, it's always nice to protect your project because This is embroidery tape, so it's easy to remove. Because sometimes if the needle is too close to this border right here, it can get tough, the foot can get tough, and it can drag this and mess up your project. So it's always a good idea to use this kind of tape to protect your project, okay? Ask me how I know. It happened to me once, and that wasn't enough for me to learn my lesson, okay? So guys, I'm gonna continue to remove this tape from my quilt, and I will see you in a little bit, okay? Okay guys, so we are done with this project. All I have to do now is just give it a nice press, and I will show you, okay? Let me just cut this little thread in here. I know you cannot see because the camera is on the other side of the sewing machine. But yeah, this is just a little view so that you see everything that is done so far when it comes to the binding. But I'm gonna give you a better look once I get to the table. Okay, see you in a little bit, guys. So this is the mini quilt already done and finished. I had a lot of fun doing this mini quilt. It was scary in the beginning, but if you follow their directions step by step, it's like putting a puzzle together. And I had some difficulties in certain areas, but I think that for being this kind of project and me being a beginner quilter, I think it came out okay. So don't come for me, guys, for those who are expert quilters, because this is like my second time doing something like that. Like I said before, this is not an in the hoop project. This is an actual quilting project. I missed a couple of points, which I am very proud of because I thought everything was going to be a mess. I think I counted about 3 areas that did not hit the point, the place I wanted. It was so little that barely you cannot notice, okay? But I know where they are. But yeah, guys, I am happy that I was able to share this with you. And so if you are thinking about doing quilting, don't be scared. It is doable. And like I said, it's just a sewing machine. It's like sewing. Like I said, the embroidery part with the embroidery machine is optional. You can do your own quilting design using your sewing machine. If you don't want to do the steeple one in quilt flow, like they call it, is it free quilting? I don't even know the term, guys, but you know what I mean? That you move the fabric around. You can do diagonal lines, vertical lines, horizontal lines, and then you are quilting your fabric. Okay, so it's not that difficult, guys. So if you have not done it yet, go ahead and do it. All right. So, guys, this is everything for now. If you have any questions about the whole process, just let me know. If you have any suggestion for my improvement in this new journey, let me know as well, okay? So guys, this is everything for now. Until next time, don't forget to click the thumb up if you like this content. I will see you soon. I will see you later. Bye. Hasta luego.